Good evening, everyone, and welcome to When the Shift Hits the Fan. And it certainly did here tonight for me because apparently I put the wrong time on a registration. So I apologize to everybody that didn't get this live. I'll have it up as soon as we can. I want to welcome you to the show, and welcome to our beautiful co-host here tonight, Ms. Linda Lehman. How are you doing out there, Linda?
I'm fantastic, Mark. How about you?
Well, I was better when I actually had this done. But hey, you know what? It's a live show, and I am notorious for doing the wildest things on here. So again, I apologize. I have no idea how the time got changed because we just keep loading it every week. But it did, and so here we are. So let's talk a little bit about things that Linda, you and I have been talking a lot about this, actually, and that's having belief in yourself and thinking too small, thinking that nobody's ever going to care about the ideas that you might have, and just, you know, in this shell. And we know it's an absolute fact, the difference between people who succeed in almost anything but have belief in themselves. So, Linda, I don't even know. I mean, we talk about this a lot, but I don't think it's something that you can instill in another person. And we talk about them taking baby steps, but we know for a fact people take no steps.
You're right, Mark, and I think it's I think that people bump up against this internal feeling. You know, we talked a little bit last time about fear, but again, it's because they're not lined up. I mean, they can say that, you know, I believe that this will work, I believe I can do this, but they're not lining it up with their behaviors and their actions. There's a wonderful word out there. It's the word is praxis, and praxis means to align your behaviors and your actions with your beliefs. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's a wonderful word, and I absolutely love it. But so many times, on the surface, you know, you can explain something to somebody, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, I believe that." But everything that they do, and they're probably doing this unconsciously, everything that they do tells you that they don't truly believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're acting opposite.
Yeah, it's interesting because I actually, just before we got on here tonight, I had a text from a fellow that we're working with in one of our companies, and he had said, you know, I have everything. I have the money, I have the training, you know, you guys do wonderful training with me. I show up for every training session, but as soon as you guys leave, I do nothing. I don't. I'm just stuck. And I don't know, maybe, and his whole thing was, well, maybe it's because I'm alone by myself, so I can't motivate myself. And on the heels of that, just because, you know, that working with some salespeople in this last little while, I just had another person kind of, you know, drop off and say, you know, this is, I can't motivate myself enough. Like, I want to do it, but I get up in the morning and I don't do it. And for me, I think there's underlying reasons why someone won't do this. I mean, even with the session I did this past Friday with the group of people I was working with, and I had a real estate agent there who was wanting to market herself, and, you know, but she could not for the life of her. When I said, what demographic do you want to work with? Do you want to work with women? Do you want to work with mature people? You know, and I can work with anybody. Yeah, but who are you going to work with? Because, of course, we all know this when we're dealing with trying to brand yourself, trying to market yourself, you have to have a plan as to who your target market is. Linda, we didn't know when we first started this show, really, right? We didn't really know who would listen to us. It kind of got, 80% women, 20% men, and now we're running almost 50-50. But it's because of what we talk about. It's not exclusively for women. But I'm going to tell you guys, I hate to say this to you, but we market to women because women in the world are the decision makers. And I think you find that a lot of men are not. They get stuck more often, I think, and then don't want to tell anybody about it either, right? That's failure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't tell anybody that I don't have enough. I think we're skirting around the issue, but don't tell anybody I don't have enough self-confidence.
Yeah.
To step forward.
Mhm.
I'm afraid that.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was really proud of this guy for saying I need help. But guess what? He's been doing this for 2 years. Paying his fees faithfully every month.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's just got to the point where, I got to ask for help. So I was really proud of him.
Mm-hmm. Don't you think, too, that a lot of times, Mark, we allow our egos to get in the way?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I heard something a while back, and I absolutely love it. And I hadn't really thought about it until I heard those words. And what I was told was the most dangerous words you can ever speak out of your mouth is, "Oh, I already know that."
Mhm. Yeah. And in some cases, yeah, right? You might know something of it. You might totally know it. But there's so many perspectives to every single thing on Earth, right? An elephant doesn't have just a long snout. It's got a couple of ears, little tail. We're multidimensional, and so are actions and things that we will do.
Exactly. Or the actions we won't do. And, it goes way back. I know that several shows ago, last year, we were talking about what I called Mr. X and the terror barrier. Mm-hmm. And it's that comfort zone that we get in. And even though we may not like our circumstances and situations, and even though we may dream of something bigger, until we come face to face with the edge of that comfort zone and make the decision, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to step outside of this. I'm going to make myself feel uncomfortable. I know this is probably going to be rocky because I don't know what I'm doing, even though I want to give the impression that I do. But until you actually take that step outside and go for what you're wanting to do or be, you're always going to be stuck in that comfort zone. I mean, Mark, how many times have you heard somebody say, I really, really want to work in my own business, and then 2 or 3 months down the road they say, you know what, I kind of like the way things are right now. I really don't need that anyway.
Mhm. And yeah, but you know what? That's the whole thing. I don't know why people just don't. I try everything. Right? I'm going to give everything a try. And even with this team I'm building, I said, everybody gets a try. Whatever you put into it, you just go for it. And we'll sort it out at the end of the day, right? Because some of you are still going to be sitting here, and some of you, not so much. And it's not going to be my decision, right? I said that right from day one. I said, that's not going to be my decision. It will be yours. You'll sort yourself. You'll come to know what your strengths are. But what's really cool, and I don't think anybody gets this, Linda, is they don't get it. They don't get it. I'm gonna stick with that. They don't get it because they follow other people. And we work with entrepreneurs, people that have online businesses, and constantly do we get this. Well, so-and-so, my sponsor said I should do this. And I'm following this guy over here. He's doing this, so I think that's a good idea. So I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to do that. And I always come back to, what's the original thought? Like, do you not think that you have ideas inside your head? Like, your knowledge is priceless. And it's something that people are going to want to buy. And that's where we come into belief, and that's why Linda and I are saying, think bigger, my friends. Take that small idea and think of this. And we talked about this morning on our other segment with the JMA, is, ideas that people have. Like, and I don't know if you do this, but I do this all the time. My daughter always phones me and says, how long do you have to boil the egg for hard boiled? Jeez Louise. And and every time I'm going, I don't know, until it's done. Because, I don't know, 4 minutes, maybe 6 minutes, I have no idea. So I was at a flea market thingy, and I saw this little eggie, and, when it turns opaque, that means it's soft, and, you just put it in the water, and I'm going, well, darn fine idea. Because so I got a couple, and I said, here, just throw it in the pot. You don't even have to know what it is, right? But somebody probably was asked that question a gazillion times. And you never remember, because unless you're boiling eggs all the time or you have a good memory for something like that, it's always it. I do the same thing. And I just got to the point where the eggs float a certain way, and I kind of know they're done and whatever, right? But, that's not an answer. But we do that in life. But I thought to myself, and in telling other people, is that you have so much knowledge. Like, people don't ask other people questions. People Google it, right? How many times have you seen, and all you people out there, have you yourself or seen your kids, you ask them a question, they pull out their phone. They don't even think. They might even know the answer, but they don't even think, like, I don't know, look it up. And if you just answered questions, right? If you just sat there on your WordPress blog or your, your JMAT platform, whatever it is, on the forums or whatever, if you just simply ask questions and answered them, like, how would you like to know how to do whatever your expertise is? And it's a little thing, but I think my perspective on this is that I think people would gain confidence. You can't help but be excited. We just started a new page. We have our website. It's very popular, but everybody wanted us on Facebook, so we obliged. And we really didn't do too much on it yet, so we're kind of, not inviting a whole lot of people to it, and it's just there. And not even doing that. I think it's got 40, 50 likes on it. It's not even really out there yet. And I could do two things. We could have said, we're not going to do anything until we have this totally done, and it looks beautiful, and we have our new header on it, and we have our new pictures on it, and we have all our apps done on it. We're not even going to show up, because God forbid somebody would think we're not all that because we don't have a perfect page. So we don't care. We showed up. 49 people showed up with us. We're all good, right? Think big. Just go out there.
Exactly, Mark. Instead of getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready to do something, do it imperfect. Put it out there, because what happens is that you make the step. You get it out there, you do it. You make the step. And then you kind of adjust to this new surroundings, and then the next step that you need to take is going to show itself to you. And so then you're going to take the next step, and you're going to be improving and changing and learning, improving and changing and learning. That's what we're here to do. We're here to expand. We're here to grow. We're answering a calling that's deep within us to do exactly that, to improve, to expand, to grow, to experience new experiences. And so there's really no way, Mark, that we can get ready and have, as a person, everything absolutely perfect before we step out to the success that we want to have. Because it's those those other steps, the imperfect steps, that in turn make that success happen.
Well, and I just think about, though, right? If we did, like, where does this start? Because when you're little, you don't know how to write, and you learn how to write. And it looks like crap. I mean, pull out anything you did when you were 2, or 5 or 6, the little beautiful sunrises you did that looked like, I don't know, Jell-O in a bowl. We were excited about it. Look at my sunrise. Isn't it gorgeous? And everybody said, oh, isn't that gorgeous? And then somewhere along the line, we kind of became adults, and you go, oh, look at my sunrise. Nah, I don't like those colors. And then what do? We put our sunrise away, and we never let it show the light of day again.
Right, because it wasn't perfect.
Yeah, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect, and somebody who probably can't do their own sunrise, said something negative about you, and you just went small again. Teeny weeny little me. I can't even do a sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's no way to live your life.
No, the limitations that we put on ourselves are not there when we're born. When we're born, there's absolutely zero limits. If we had limits when we were born, we would never learn how to walk. We'd never learn how to talk. We'd never learn how to feed ourselves. I mean, as you look at those, in a child, as they're beginning these new adventures, they're making mistakes all along the way. And we talked about the mistakes last time, but that's how they're learning how to do it better. Is to make the mistake. I didn't want to say perfectly, and I didn't want to say right or wrong, but you try to walk and you fall down. And then you get up again and you fall down, and you get up again and you fall down. You get up and you take a couple of steps, and then you fall down. And wow, that's an accomplishment. You took 2 steps. Celebrate the win.
Yeah, but we don't do that, though. We don't do that. It's interesting how, and that's why so many people that want to be in business for themselves, want to work from home, even when their why is really big, they are still really small. And they still have those insecurities, and what if nobody likes my idea? And I think people buy into some of those big opportunities, where a gazillion people are already in it, because it somehow validates it, right? Well, if everybody else is doing it, it must be okay. And we both know that's where you lose your money.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. But if you looked at it from our perspective, what knowledge do you have in your head? Because the reality is you're an expert to someone who doesn't know what you know. And that can be anything.
Even drawing sunsets on a piece of paper.
Even drawing sunsets. I mean, it could be anything. Like, we've put so many people into successful businesses doing what they love to do or what they're knowledgeable about. And it's got nothing to do with joining the fleeting thing that's on the internet, the blogging sensation, or the one guy that got, purportedly said he made, gazillion dollars off of doing one thing and never calling anybody. It's all lies. It didn't happen that way, and it's not going to happen for you that way. And if you keep throwing money after someone else's dream, your dream, it's just never going to come true. It's just never going to come true. But if you sat down and said, what am I good at? What's the last guy I put in business was a truck driver. And I said, what I want to know is, how do I get through LA at rush hour? Do you know how to do that? Absolutely. That guy had so many hits first week because people are typing in, how do you get through LA at rush hour? Guess whose site was right there? Who had the information? He did. Because that's his knowledge. But he didn't want to do that at first. He wanted to join the other thing. That, well, don't you just blog on it? And I'm going, sure, go ahead. How much money do you want to lose? Or how much power do you have in the knowledge you have? Like everything. How do you settle down a colicky baby? How do how do you manage 3 kids at home? How do single dads make peanut butter sandwiches? I mean, it's endless, the knowledge that you have in your head. And that's your confidence. That's your step forward. When you are thinking you're going to do something that someone else thinks is a good idea, you're always going to have your feet dragging behind you. Unless, like Linda said, you're aligned with it.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the best pieces of advice that I got, not only from one of my mentors, Bob Proctor, but I had also just recently picked up a book that I have read many times, but I put it on the shelf and I decided to pull it out again. And this was Genevieve Ferrand, who wrote a book, Your Invisible Power, way back in the early 1900s. So I mean, this idea goes way back. And the idea is, and this was hard for me to wrap my arms around when I first heard it and read it, but I get it. And what Bob said and even what Genevieve said is, at first, when you have an idea and this idea really excites you and it scares you, but you really think it's a great idea, act on it, but keep it to yourself. Don't tell anybody about it. Just start the process of moving toward it. And Mark, at first I kept scratching my head going, well, why wouldn't you want to tell somebody about it? The fact of the matter is, when an idea is young, when it's just being birthed and you're really excited about it, that's the time for you to take your own action. And if you just feel like you have to tell someone, tell somebody that you know beyond a shadow of a doubt is going to support you. Because while this idea is an infant, it's going to be very easy for you to back off of it if somebody else doesn't understand it and they ridicule you for your idea, or they say, oh, I don't know why you're so excited about that. That'll never work. And so you back off of your idea. Exactly.
I've done that all my life. I never asked permission for anything. I mean, I was lucky that I guess I got to say this. I guess I was lucky I came from a divorced family because nobody could catch me. Right? So there was I didn't have those options. I thought, well, I could say I'm over here, you won't know, but here I am, and I'll give you an example of this. How I think, and I think you, Linda, you're a little more analytical than I am. I'm very impulsive, and I've paid some dues on that. I'll tell you that. But I've won more than I've lost, so I keep doing it. And I was working for, and I know we've kind of talked about this very quickly. I was working for a clothing company, and I was their controller. And despite everything, the 2 owners were just not very responsible about the money that they were spending. And here's the thing. It was a hobby to them because one was an air traffic controller, one was a teacher, and it was a hobby. It never was serious. Like, we can just go back to being this. The only thing that was keeping them in the game really was their egos. Like, well, if we fail, we're so well known. And that was it. And I'm going, yeah, but what all the people you've employed and, your dream of doing this, but it wasn't their dream. Somebody said, you should do that, and they went ahead and did it. So they went bankrupt, and I bought the company from the receivers. I don't know how to sew, right? I sat there and I thought, well, this was a really good idea. It just wasn't executed very well. And I can't sew, but I'm very good at executing plans. So if I talk to the sewers who are now losing their jobs and the people that are working here and say, hey, look, a different game, but how would you like to start off and have more say, like have a profit sharing kind of program, would you all be in, right? And they all were excited about it because they had a stake in it. They never had a stake in it before. They came, sewed their little hearts out, took their paycheck, and went away. And once they had a stake in it, they took that company to a multi-million-dollar status where it was failing the day before because somebody didn't care about it enough. And so when y'all are thinking about something, if you care about it enough and you care about you enough, you're going to make the right moves. And like Linda said, yeah, you're going to stumble and you're going to fall. I'm an expert at falling and failing. Total expert at that. But I'm also an expert at getting up and doing it again. So y'all can do that. I don't know, Linda, can you think of an excuse for them?
Not a good one.
Yeah, me neither. I'm trying hard, but I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't quite get there.
Excuses are another way to for us to step back into that bondage called your comfort zone.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not even that comfortable there.
No, it's not.
Like when you want more and you don't have enough, how the hell does anybody call out a comfort zone?
I know. That's why I like the term bondage instead of comfort zone.
Yeah, bondage is right. Like, strangulation mode. Ugh, I don't like it there. I want out. And you all should want out too. And that's what we wish for you. This is what we're going to do over the next few weeks, is we're going to push you out of your comfort zones. We're going to make you feel so bad about sitting there that you're going to want to move. Because we love you. And we don't want you in your comfort zones. Because I don't even know. We should come up with saying no good ever came from being in a comfort zone. No excitement ever hatched. No plan ever happened. I don't know, Linda. We'll think of something.
Oh, yeah. No life was ever lived inside your comfort zone.
No, it sucks there. Get out. Get out. Okay, Linda, here we are, the bottom half of the hour. Bottom minute of the hour. So I'm leaving it to you to send these people off in glory and thinking, I can do this. I can do anything because I can.
We all can. Yeah, that's a perfect segue, because what I was thinking about tonight that I want to leave everybody with is this, and it's time to tap into that power of I am. Pay very close attention to those words right after you say I am, and make sure that you put all your strength into that I am. I am powerful. I am wonderful. I am successful. You can never outperform your own self-image, so make certain that you're looking in the mirror, and maybe you're that kitten. Everybody's seen the picture, and the kitten's looking in the mirror, and in the mirror reflected back is a lion. So put power behind I am.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, go out there and be that. Be all military. Be all that you can be. I'm going to get off the line now. Like, I'm coming up with way too many weird cliches tonight. So thank you all for spending some time with us. We always have really cool stuff on our website. We're going to be, loading it up with a whole bunch of stuff that we're doing. Our Facebook, When the Shift Hits the Fan, you can find us on Facebook, on our website. Jump in, join in, get other people, grab a posse, bring a posse, and let's all do this together because we can do it. So good night, everybody, from here in Canada. And, yeah, it's warm here today, so rah.
Good night, Mark, from Florida.
Yeah, good night, everyone.